Hey, good Wednesday morning to you, where it is early evening in Japan and the FIBA World Basketball Championship rolls on. From the Hokkaido Prefectural Sports Center in Sapporo City, the United States putting an unbeaten 3-0 mark on the line today against Italy. Likewise, putting a 3-0 unbeaten mark on the line as one of these teams will remain unbeaten and atop Group D in the pool standings. With Fran Fraschilla, I'm Jim Durham. Glad to have you with us this morning. And Chris Paul, what a terrific tournament he's having. He's on his way to setting all kinds of records.
He really is, Jim. This USA team averaging 115 points a game, and primarily because of that ungodly assist-turnover ratio by Chris Paul, he has pushed the tempo for Team USA.
United States averaging better than 115, as you mentioned. Italy at 76. USA almost 53% from the field. Italy 42%. And you see the steals per game, 16.3 for the United States. And, of course, that's what gets them into their transition game, as was evidenced in their win yesterday over Slovenia.
Well, you're right, Jim. This has been the story of Team USA. This team has bought into Mike Krzyzewski's pressure defensive philosophy over 40 minutes, especially with the rotation of players. And the ball movement versus zones has been particularly good as well. Very unselfish group so far.
Time now to take a look at the starting lineup. State Farm covers the starting lineups. At the forwards, Gigli and Saragna for Italy. Rocca starts at center. In the backcourt, Bellinelli at one guard spot and Mordenti at the other. And the United States, Mike Krzyzewski's hit on a familiar group now. Battier and Anthony at the forwards, Dwight Howard at center, LeBron James and Chris Paul in the backcourt. Now, whether or not we're going to have a competitive game today or not, Fran, I think we agree, is going to depend on how well Italy shoots the three ball.
Well, you're absolutely right, Jim. This team takes 43% of its field goal attempts from behind the arc. Think back 2 years ago to Cologne, Germany, when they upset the Olympic team, our Olympic team, Team USA, by making 17 threes in that ball game. Little different team this year, a rebuilding situation for Team USA, for Italy. But the philosophy of shooting a three is the same.
There you see the officials assigned to work this ball game. The Italian team has put up 82 threes in 3 games. And the United States, that's been their defensive Achilles heel. Their defensive field goal percentage from 3 is like 47%.
It is, and it is the worst of all 24 teams in this league. And you got to keep an eye on this young man, Marco Bellinelli, only 20 years old, establishing himself as one of the top young players internationally.
Gigli to jump against Howard, and Dwight Howard controls the tap.
Italy will play man-to-man, also switch to some zone. This is not a particularly good defensive team on the floor right now for Italy.
And as we start out, here's what's at stake today for the United States. A victory would clinch the #1 spot in Group D.
And Jim, if the name Mason Rocca rings a bell to college basketball fans, he played for Pete Carrill at Princeton. He's in the starting lineup today from Evanston, Illinois.
And the shot comes from the outside. It's a deep 2, putting Italy on top.
Well, just what you talked about, the perimeter jump shooting. They don't have an inside attack, Italy.
Carmelo Anthony. And now Italy with a chance to extend.
I think you'll see Italy much more patient than Slovenia in the half court if they don't have fast break opportunities.
You know, the reason the three-point field goal, whether it's going or not going, is so important. And there's one that doesn't go down. They usually lead to long rebounds, and of course that would fuel the United States fast break.
A perfect example right there of the long rebound and the kick out, that time working to Italy's advantage. Italy does not have a pure point guard out there.
Well, there's their first 3, and that's Bellinelli.
This young man has already established himself as one of the top players in the Italian league. as we talked about before the game, Jim, a level better than NCAA level competition.
So just like in the game against Slovenia, the United States getting down by 5, but LeBron James answers that 3 with one of his own.
Although Battier and Howard are in the game, this has not been a particularly good defensive group to start off the last couple games.
And there's a walk, so the first turnover, the walk called on Mordente.
You'll hear us talk about penetrate and kick all night. Italy known for that drive to the paint and then the kick out for the 3. That'll be a big part of their offense.
Chris Paul working inside to Howard. And before Howard could load the shot, a foul call. LeBron James with the 3 points for the U.S.
USA averaging 115. Italy, that's a good inbounds, out of bounds play.
And this one will get LeBron James to the line as the personal foul was whistled against Raqqa. Don't forget 4 10-minute quarters, I should say, as opposed to the 12-minute 4 quarters in the NBA, and FIBA with a shorter 3-point line. You foul out on a foul less. You're looking at the trapezoid free throw lane, and Mike Krzyzewski, who has brought a club into this tournament that is heavily favored to win, but yet when you look at some of the other teams in the various pools, Argentina has a wider margin of victory in their 4 wins so far.
Spain as well. Well, actually, Spain now about 18 points a game.
And another 3 goes down. Mordente connecting.
Mordente and Bellinelli both have played at a high level. The intimidation factor versus the USA will be negligible.
This is Anthony. And Paul is called for an offensive foul.
Good solid position, but now watch here now. Good ball movement. And the reach in.
So Italy opens in strong fashion. They've hit on 2 3-point field goals already. And a little over 3 minutes having been played. And now a turnover on Italy's part.
Pressure defense should take its toll on Italy, Jim, because Coach Recalcati has said publicly they don't have a point guard that's playing with any consistency right now.
But the United States is going to have to score field goals of their own to be able to apply the pressure. And Carmelo Anthony on the miss as Italy brings it back, looking to extend on a 4-point lead. Oh, nice. And a good defensive play by Howard. Italy taking the foul to stop the American thrust up the court. Saranya picking up the personal.
Well, we've chronicled the steals as USA leads this tournament in steals, but it's been Dwight Howard's blocked shots that have also fueled transition offense for Team USA.
LeBron James with all 4 points for the United States. Make that all 6.
So far, Jim, all of Team USA's offense has come off one-on-one situations.
That's a 3. And again, Italy captures the offensive rebound.
Well, again, long rebounds means shots will bounce out long. And if the defense doesn't recover, it usually means long rebounds for offense.
Italy again with the rebound. And it's Mordente on the follow.
Well, this is the second straight slow start for this group right here.
And the United States finding the rebounding game difficult early on, and they were out-rebounded by Slovenia.
Well, Jim, law of basketball physics, when a shot is taken from 20 feet, the ball is usually going to bounce out long, and that really means it becomes a 50-50 rebound. Those who are quicker to the ball will recover it, as opposed to being able to take advantage of size in the paint.
Chris Paul with his first point. A slow start by the USA. Italy's lead is 2.
Well, remember this, Jim. Coach K has got this team to buy into 5-minute spurts at a time. So very shortly, we'll see another group come to the scorer's table and try to turn up the heat early in this game.
And when that group came in yesterday's game against Slovenia, they ran off 11 straight. And another offensive recovery on the rebound by Italy. Good ball movement. Italy running their cuts very well. That's a deep 2.
Well, that's what we talked about. Slovenia tried to get into a running game with Team USA yesterday. That turned into suicide. This team is a lot more settled in terms of the things they need to do in the half court. Remember, they only turn the ball over a little over 10 times a game in the half court.
Dwight Howard in deep. Tip jam by Anthony.
Tallest player right now for Italy, about 6'8", so Team USA should have a size advantage inside.
But the rebound total is heavily favoring Italy in this early part of the game. Another 3 right down the chute. That is the second three-pointer for Bellinelli.
Well, this is a great confidence builder for the 20-year-old. A lot of people see him being an NBA-level player within the next 2 seasons.
LeBron James for 3. Loose ball to Paul. And Chris Paul brings the U.S. within 3.
Right now for Team USA, it's been all isolation. Italy playing man-to-man, and the quickness and skill level favors Team USA in the half court on their end.
You saw just a moment ago that second unit stretching out the kinks, getting ready to come on. And now the United States with a rebound in transition, their first of the game.
And that's what you talked about, Jim. The long jump shot, when it's missed, leads to a long rebound, and that time an easy run out.
So the U.S. with the last 4 points to cut it to 1.
You can see very crisp ball movement by Italy.
A 3-point field goal over the top. It belongs to the United States after the timeout. Italy led by as many as 5 and now by 1. So the second group about ready to come on for the United States. They're down by 1. This is the first transition field goal we had a look at briefly, because Italy has been controlling their offensive backboard.
They really have, Jim, and they've taken care of the ball as well. And one of the things about this Team USA pressure defense is if they don't turn you over, so far we've seen teams who run crisp half-court offense have some success against them.
Of the 6 out of 13, 3 for 7 from 3 for Italy. And the second group in there for the United States. This is Elton Brand trying to work his way in the lane, but a foul called on Italy.
Well, Team USA, a lot of isolation offense so far.
2 fouls on Rocca. And Elton Brand to shoot 2. He can put the United States in front.
If you're a fan of the NBA and you're wondering where is Andrea Bargnani, the #1 pick in this past 2006 draft, he is getting ready for Toronto and the Raptors. Coach Recalcati has no problem with that. He played 80 games last season, summer league with the Raptors, and they want him to get off to a good NBA start. He's the future of this national team at 7 feet tall.
The United States has scored the last 5, but a foul called here on Elton Brand.
Team USA has had good, solid pressure defense in this tournament. But when...
Apparently, Fran, that was an offensive foul called on Mordente. 2 fouls on Mordente.
We saw a call yesterday in their game with Senegal where a Senegalese player jumped into the Italian player, and they called it an offensive foul.
Oh, and that's the 3rd foul on Mordente, I understand. And Dwayne Wade has given the United States the lead.
Well, once again, we've seen Team USA offensively be very difficult to be defended with man-to-man defense.
The U.S. was 7 straight points and a 2-point lead, and now the United States really getting after it with their perimeter defense. Italy running out of time on the shot clock. Heinrich the steal. Kirk Heinrich going coast to coast. And it's an offensive foul on Heinrich, apparently.
Well, quick hands again, but I think right here, Heinrich looks like he lost the ball. As he came up the floor, it looked like he wanted to pass the ball, lost it as he juggled it, and had no choice but to run the Italian player over. See, he's looking right here to pass it. And just not a good, smart play by Heinrich on a 2-on-1. Once you make that defender commit to you, you must drop it off.
Joe Johnson putting pressure out on the perimeter. As is Heinrich, and away from the ball, a foul along the baseline against the United States.
Remember, this Italian team is a good test for Team USA, but they are not one of the elite teams in the tournament. This is a rebuilding situation. Only 4 players from the silver medal team in Athens on this roster.
Well, the first foul was against Dwayne Wade, and now a foul on Joe Johnson. So the United States picking up 2 personal fouls on successive whistles.
Jim, Team USA is going to wear this Italian team down, but you can see that when you run solid half-court offense like Argentina and Spain do, it could cause some difficulties.
Another poke away as the U.S. brings it quickly into the front court. And Elton Brand on the miss, and on the rebound, it's out of bounds to Italy.
Again, Mike Krzyzewski has no compunction about playing quick. That's been the philosophy.
But as you mentioned early on, this particular group that's out there now is the better defending group. As you know, they have come in and pretty much, well, they've shut down Italy. They haven't scored since this group came in. Dwayne Wade called for his second foul. A little more physical play by them. And there you see Saragna on the free throw line for Italy. In your picture a moment ago is their veteran guard Basili, 31 years old, also a sharpshooter from 3.
It's funny, I talked to Dwayne Wade's college coach, Tom Crean, last week. I've had a chance to watch Dwayne grow up through that Marquette program and now here in the NBA. And Tom said despite the great image, he has a mean streak about him that and I know you've seen it in the NBA, and sometimes it's...
I don't know a competitor who doesn't.
That's right. That's right. And you can see now the play getting a little chippy.
And tomorrow morning here at 6:30, the United States wraps up play in Group D against Senegal. That's Kirk Heinrich connecting. And the U.S. with a 3-point field goal and a 3-point lead.
Well, one of the unsung players for this Team USA. Not only does he run the show well, but gives you that outside shooting that some feel have been lacking from our national teams in recent years.
Dribble penetration, and the layup brings Italy to within 1.
Well, Michelori, a big guy that handles it well.
Score the basket, and a foul on Michelori, it appears.
Excellent pick and roll from the high post. Italy got caught up, 2 men defending the ball. Elton Brand got loose on the roll to the rim.
So Brand will be on the free throw line inside of a minute now. 43.7 for the quarter. Michelori is 6'8". And Elton Brand puts the U.S. up by 4.
Substitution for Italy, number 13, Fabio Di Bella.
And now Di Bella comes in, number 13, a 6'2" guard. There you see Dwayne Wade on the bench. Wade with a couple of fouls early.
Well, despite the lack of a true point guard, Italy has taken care of the ball reasonably well. but they have had trouble scoring in this tournament. Only 76 a game, which puts them in the middle of the pack.
Joe Johnson knocked it loose. Now it's going to be a tough look and a block shot on the long one. As the United States comes down, they can have the final say here in the first quarter. USA at one time was down 15-10. They are going to have the lead at the end of one. Chris Paul with 5 seconds. Nice handoff by Paul DeBrand as he scores at the buzzer, and the U.S. has its biggest lead.
Another great assist by Chris Paul, the ability to get into the lane. Solid point guard play, Jim, from Team USA.
And we talk about the three-point field goals of Italy. The United States can hit the three as well, and they're up 6 after 1. And welcome back. The United States has scored 15 of the last 19 to take a 6-point lead.
And you see that platoon system by Coach K in action.
He's got the starting group back out there now. And they're much better defensively this time on the floor than they were as they force a shot clock violation.
Well, that's been the pattern for Team USA. This group got off to a slow start against Slovenia. But the thing that's impressed me is when you've got LeBron James, one of the NBA superstars, pressuring the ball like that. You see great defense by Battier. But these guys have bought into the defensive philosophy.
Oh, a tough fall for Anthony. No call on the contact. And Italy against that tough man-to-man defense, trying to get an open look. Early on, the Italians opened hitting 6 of 13 from the field to start out. Now they turn it over. And of that, 3 of 7 from 3. Apparently, the ball last touched by the U.S.
Good ball pressure, Jim, is like a quarterback being blitzed in football. It really cuts down the sight lines.
Good play off the inbounds, and Dwight Howard took a tumble.
Well, Howard got caught on the back screen, tried to make it up with that athletic and shot blocking ability, and then a good pump fake.
It'll be Rocca on the free throw line for Italy, and hopefully Dwight Howard is okay.
Substitution for USA, number 14, Elton Brand.
Elton Brand coming in to replace Dwight Howard.
Howard has been one of the best shot blockers in this tournament, along with Darko Milicic and Yao Ming. Has given this team a burst of energy.
And the United States team on the bench looking on. Coach K uses this time to get some information to his players out there. Dwight Howard getting up. And Brand has replaced him. Rocca shoots 2 for Italy.
Be interesting to see when that next rotation or wave of USA players comes in, Jim, whether Howard will be in there or Bosch or Brad Miller will get the opportunity.
Rocca has struggled from the foul line in this tournament. He's now 3 for 12.
He has been a notoriously poor foul shooter in the Italian League. Young man from Evanston, Illinois, former team captain at Princeton.
How did Northwestern let him get away?
I don't know.
What's up with that? Another offensive rebound for the Italians, as that has been part of their strength in this first half. They did have 5 turnovers at the quarter, and that's about the U.S. average in terms of forced turnovers. Good dribble penetration, but Paul the steal. Anthony is called for the walk.
You'll see that. That's very common in international play. When you catch the ball, you must put it down to the floor. But again, dribble penetration. Quick hands as DeBella gets to the lane, nowhere to find the passing lane as Paul closes off that gap.
You know, we talked earlier, Fran, about the United States Achilles heel, and that has been the opponent's three-point field goal percentage. And, you know, why that might be. And, you know, it's my opinion that when you get in the passing lanes and, you know, you're kind of compromised in a way because that leaves some open shots.
Well, what happens is when you penetrate against pressure and the defense collapses, it invites a kick out, what we call a penetrate and kick open three. That's happened quite a bit in this tournament to Team USA.
We played a little over 2 minutes here in the second quarter, and Italy on the board in the second quarter. USA up by 4.
There's a good example. When you extend the pressure and you drive to the lane, if you don't help on that man with the ball, you give up the three.
Chris Paul. And Italy on the run out. So a transition 2 for Italy. Saragna scoring.
Remember that team that beat USA from Italy in 2004 had no NBA players on its roster. But these guys are professional players in one of the top leagues in the world.
And this is the team that finished with the silver medal at the Athens Olympics.
That's right.
USA's lead trimmed to 2. The United States has yet to score in the second quarter.
Tough shot, contested. And again, when Italy doesn't get that rare run out, very good in the half court. Unlike Slovenia that tried to make it a racehorse tempo, Italy very good in their half court sets.
Saragna on the perimeter. Now off dribble penetration, a foul on Elton Brand.
And Jim, that's what I was talking about. On the drive to the lane, Chris Paul did not leave the three-point shooter at the line, so that opened up the lane for dribble penetration. And the danger with this is Italy is not one of the top teams in this field. When they play Spain and Argentina, both of those teams have solid inside-out play, which can exploit poor half-court defense.
Escalori dropping the first one. He's got 3 points, and Italy now within 1. 6 straight for Italy to start the second quarter. Like the United States, unbeaten in the preliminary round in Group D. And they've won a couple of games against the U.S. in international competition. Down through the years, here's a personal foul call. That's on Rocca.
When you see there the gamble, but when you look at Italy and you see that they're coming in averaging only 10 turnovers a game, it tells you that they value the basketball. They'll have way more than 10 today, but the overall philosophy is to make this as much of a half-court game as possible.
Carmelo Anthony is fouled. Italy wanted to walk, but Anthony will shoot 2.
Well, an awful lot of one-on-one isolation for Team USA. Not necessarily a bad strategy because Italy has played man-to-man, but they have taken some contested shots. And you can see, we say only 25 points. Remember, this is a USA team averaging 115, so far not crisp in the half court.
Anthony has scored 3 points today. Anthony is 8 of 10 from the foul line in this tournament. USA by 2. The first points for the United States in the second quarter coming at the 6:28 mark. On the contact, Battier takes the charge.
Well, no surprise there. He has been the grit guy for this team. Remember Shane Battier in the top 10 in the NBA last year in charges taken. And that's why Houston Rocket fans are very excited about how he'll bring that energy to Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady.
LeBron James running the show this trip for the U.S. And James gets to the rim. Brand missed the tip. Brand a recovery and is fouled. 2 shots coming.
Well, Elton Brand did a good job of staying on Marcanato.
That's the first foul on Marcanato, the 4th team foul.
Substitution for USA, number 4, Johnson.
And Joe Johnson back on for the United States.
And number 9, Wade.
And Dwayne Wade with 2 fouls also back in.
At the line for USA, number 14, Brand, 2 shots.
The United States without a field goal so far in this second quarter. And just 2 free throws.
Well, you see Mike D'Antoni to Coach K's right. 21 years as a player and the coach in the Italian League, one of the great point guards in Italian League history. And his international background, Jim, I've got to believe, has really helped Coach K.
We hope you're enjoying our coverage of USA basketball with Fran Fraschilla. I'm Jim Durham. And the United States and Italy, both 3-0 coming into this game atop Group D. And the U.S. up by only 3. And the loose ball run down by Brand as Heinrich looks ahead with a pass to Johnson. Open look for Antoine Jamison. Nothing happening on the 3, but Elton Brand, the offensive rebound.
Well, that's a 70% rebound. Shots taken from this side are going to bounce to that weak side 70% of the time.
Italy the steal. And it's a 1-point ball game.
They're not a transition team by nature, but very opportunistic off the steal. DeBella coast to coast, and the finish. They have done a nice job, Jim, of controlling the tempo of this game.
Heinrich missing. Italy with a chance to regain the lead. Remember, they led by as many as 5 in the first quarter of this one.
Notice how when they don't have the break, they'll settle into the half court.
Into the post, and Italy goes up by 1.
You just look at that scoreboard, and you see USA with 28 points, averaging 115 coming in.
And no field goals in this quarter. Wade turns it over. Italy taking advantage in transition. Right now, Italy beating the U.S. at its game.
Again, very opportunistic. They'll take their chances when they have numbers, but so far, a lot of one-on-one by Team USA in the half court.
Here's Elton Brand, and finally the United States with a field goal. Their first. They went almost 6 minutes without a field goal in the second quarter.
Jim, have you noticed Team USA not many transition baskets? And that may be an Achilles heel right now as we watch them operate in the half court on offense. Teams will take note of that.
And it's a baseline look that time for Italy. Elton Brand is fouled, and a timeout taken. The United States with a struggle. So the United States with only 5 points scored so far in the second quarter. They're down by 1. Italy has hit on 12 of 23 from the field. The U.S. with 30 points on the board, and remember, they average over 115 per game in this tournament.
Well, this first half has given some of the elite teams in this tournament a little bit of a formula of how to stay with Team USA. Take them out of transition, take care of the ball as much as possible, and keep Team USA in a half-court defensive mode.
Elton Brand is 3 of 6 from the free throw line. 7 points for Brand.
And we've talked about this, Jim, in the past. Team USA's pressure defense is somewhat of a one-trick pony. If they don't turn you over, they have shown a susceptibility to defending in the half court.
That's a good sign. Dwight Howard, who went out with an injury a moment ago when he took a fall, coming back for the United States and getting a hand from this crowd. A tie ball game.
And Italy has done a pretty good job of handling the ball without a pure point guard.
Italy, yeah, they seem to be a little more comfortable now against that U.S. defense. And they take the 2-point lead on that field goal. Kirk Heinrich missing, but drawing the foul, so 2 shots for Heinrich.
Now, the other interesting thing is we keep harping on the fact that a lot of teams are not going to be able to guard Team USA man-to-man, but Italy has stayed with man-to-man defense throughout this half.
Heinrich has a 3-point field goal to his credit in this game, is averaging 8.7 in the tournament. And now has 4 points today. The U.S. down by 1.
You see Basile, one of the stars of 2004.
There's a missed steal by Wade, and it allows for penetration and the basket.
Well, second straight for Mancinelli, who's a young player from Bologna, one of the top young players in Italy.
Wade missing. And a foul on the United States. It's on Dwight Howard.
Well, regardless of the outcome of this game, which we have a long way to go, the tempo has been absolutely perfect for Carlo Recalcante, one of the top coaches in Europe. He's done a masterful job of keeping this a half-court game.
And he has shortened it to a 20-minute game. Loose ball, and finally recovered by Anthony. There's a foul called on Italy.
Marconato with the foul that stops the fast break, something very common in international play, giving up a foul.
Italy over the limit, so Anthony on the line. Marconato with his second personal. Carmelo Anthony 2 for 2 in this game. And the U.S. down by 3. They trailed by 5 in the first quarter. They were up 6 at the end of 1 and appeared to have righted the ship at that point. But they have really struggled to score in this second quarter. Anthony has scored 5 points today.
Well, in my mind, there's 2 reasons. Number one, they've been way too individualistic in the half court. Number 2, they've gotten no easy baskets off the pressure defense that we've seen the first 3 games.
Luca Gari has checked in for Italy, number 14. There's a 3.
I saw this kid in June get 34 in the first game of the Italian League Finals against Benetton in a much more intense atmosphere than this.
That's his 3rd 3 in this game. Wade off the glass. And the U.S. needed that one. Bellinelli with 3 3-pointers today. He came into this game just 7 for 26 from 3 in the tournament.
Now, he did shoot about 37% on the season.
Again, dribble penetration leads to the score.
When you have to defend the three-point line, that stretches your defense in the half court, and that really makes it tough to help on dribble drives.
8 points for DeBella. Anthony has it smacked away, but a personal foul called on Mancinelli, and a timeout with the U.S. down 5. It's been a stunner so far with Italy on top by 5 and 1:18 remaining. Tomorrow at 6:30 here on ESPN2, the USA takes on Senegal, and Italy will be playing Puerto Rico in its final game in pool play. Remember, the winner of this game wins Group D.
And that means they'll get the extra day off and not have to play until Sunday, have theoretically an easier road to the medal round.
But this has been the most difficult outing for the United States to date, and we expected as much. And now Anthony is 3 for 5 from the line. Missed free throws, missed field goals. The U.S. has scored just 10 points in the quarter.
Well, for a team averaging 115 a game, Italy has done a very good job of controlling the tempo on Coach K's club.
Saragna back on for Italy. And Fran, during the break we were talking, the third quarter has not been kind to the United States in the previous games in the tournament.
Well, they've gone in with leads at the end of the half, so it'll be interesting to see how they react if they are behind.
You remember the run that China made on them out of the break. Oh, my. That three-pointer was well beyond an NBA three-point line.
Well, that's Bellinelli's confidence there, but it's also a reason why he's only shooting, as you mentioned, 26% in this tournament.
The United States just 2 of 12 from the field in the second quarter. Italy looking to go up by 6.
Well, they should use some of the... No, they won't.
7 with a long one, and they've got their biggest lead.
Well, Saragna. Yep. Played for Benetton Treviso this year with Bargnani, the Italian League champs.
And the United States throws it away, so Italy now with a chance to increase the lead. As we near the 30-second mark for the half.
Well, this is the first time since the Brazil game during the exhibition season we've seen real chinks in the armor.
It's a 9-point lead for Italy.
They have kept Team USA on the defensive in the half court, and we have seen that they are not as good when they don't turn you over.
Here's Dwayne Wade. The U.S. trying to have the final opportunity to score before the half ends. Wade rocks back and fires. Italy the rebound. And a possible shocking upset in the making at halftime with the U.S. down 9 at the half to Italy.